Exercise 4H, question number 10. In an engineering company, factories A, B, and C are all producing tin sheets of the same type. Factory A produces 25% of the sheets, Factory B produces 45% of the sheets, and the rest are produced by the Factory C. Now, since in A part we need to draw a tree diagram, so let's begin by drawing a tree diagram for the probability of tin sheets produced by factories A, B, and C. So we have three factories A, B, and C. So this is A, B, and C. Factory A is producing 25% of the sheets, factory B 45%. So 25% is 0.25 in probability. Factory B 45%, so it's going to be 0.45. So they say that the remaining is produced by factory C. So 1 minus the given 2, which means 0.25 and 0.45 will be the answer for C. 0.25 plus 0.45 give us 0.7. 1 minus 0.7. Therefore, factory C produces 0.3. Now, there's another information that all the three factories A, B, and C produce floored sheets which with the probabilities of 0.02, 0.07, and 0.04. So, factory A produces floored sheet. So, floored means having some flaw, and probability is 0.02 for factory A. So, if the probability of producing a floored sheet is 0.02, probability of producing a sheet which is not floored will be 0.98. So, any branch originating from a point must add up to 1. So, this is a point. From here, this and this part of the branch must add up to 1. So, if this is 0.02, then this has to be 1 minus 0.02, which is 0.98. So, moving on to B. B produces floored sheets with a probability of 0.07. Therefore, those which are not floored will be 0.93. And C produces floored sheets with a probability of 0.04. So, probability that they are not floored is 0.96. Okay, moving on to, that was part A, drawing the tree diagram. Moving on to part B. So the question says, find the probability that a randomly selected sheet produced by factory B and floored. So produced by factory B and it is floored. So it is two events. First of all, it is produced by B, and second event that it is floored. So our answer will be 0.45 multiplied by 0.07, and that is equal to 0.0315. Moving on to the, okay, this was B1. Now we go to B2. Find the probability that a randomly selected sheet is floored. Floored means in general it is floored. It can be from factory A and floored, factory B, or factory C. So factory A and floored. So this is the first option that can happen. Or it can be factory B and floored. This is the second option. Or it could be factory C and floored. So we need to add up all of this. So we have 0.25 into 0.02 plus 0.45 into 0.07 plus 0.3 into 0.96. So when we add up the OR options, See, flawed will be this A and flawed, or it could be factory B and flawed, or it could be factory C and flawed. So when we go for the or options, we have to always add up. So or always adds up, and when we find the answer to this, we get 0.0485. So the answer is 0.0485. Moving on to part C. Part C is conditional probability. Given that a randomly selected sheet is flawed. So whenever we say given that, so that is the denominator. Find the probability that it was produced by A. So we need to find A and flawed. So we need to find the probability of A and flawed given that flawed. We already have got the probability of flawed in general. So in general, any factory A or B or C producing flawed is 0.0485. So this is our denominator. So we are going to put 0.0485 as our denominator. Numerator will be A and flawed. So A is 0.25 and flawed. So that is going to be 0.25 into 0.02. And when we work it out, we get the answer as 0.103. 0.103.